Hey y'all, Michelle G here, Bendy Stitchy. My pronouns are she, her, and this is my channel about cross stitch. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about an ATC that I just made, artist trading card. It was so much fun. It's like a low pressure, fun craft that you can just knock out and you can make it whatever you want. So yes, today is Saturday. It's July 11th. I know you're probably like, wasn't she just here? Because I thought she was filming every 2 weeks. She was, but more than filming every 2 weeks, I film based on Rose's sports ball schedule, right? So last weekend, this weekend, no sports ball. The next 2 weekends, sports ball. So we are opportunistic floss tubers now. I don't know why I'm saying we. I am an opportunistic floss tuber now. I film when I can, and it works. And it's actually great. I had an excellent stitching week. So I stitched 6 days out of 7 for about 2,300 stitches, almost 2,400 for about 13 hours. So I did a lot of stitching, and I worked out every single day, and I don't feel like I gave anything up. So ta-da! I did have 2 finishes. One of them is a big finish. Like, this is a big deal of a finish. It's also a little bit of a letting go. And I put up a, look at, this is the floss monster that was entailed, that was this is the floss monster that was that was involved in this WIP. So now I get to put all these flosses away. Least favorite part, actually that's not true. My least favorite part of a WIP is actually putting that first stitch in. Isn't that wild? This bag is great BT dubs, isn't it? I don't like starting things. I like having things to stitch, but I don't like starting them. Anyway, this is on 27.5 shades of gray, 40 count linen from, don't tell me, Kaylee Tent Stitch. And this is, I was calling it the WIP formerly known as, but this is now the finish formerly known as the 2 Years of Tours belt pull. So this is 2024 Grand Tours. Look at how cool this is. This is 2024 Grand Tours bell pull, I guess. That's still pretty long. Like, that could still be a bell pull. So actually the actual pattern that I stitched over and over again and modified is called Birdie. It's Veerland Sisters 1. It's from Stitchy Box. And the reason I chose this pattern is, number 1, I like a Veerland. Number 2, I love Stitchy Box. And number 3, it had exactly 21 motifs on it, which equates to the 21 stages of a grand tour. Also, Birdie has an alphabet here. And then Birdie does indeed say Anno. And then she says, I think 2010 or something like that. So I just changed the alphabet. I made it say the race and the race winner. And then I made Anno say 2024 in all of them. And then in each of these, I stitched all of the extras in the color of the winner's jersey. So in the Giro d'Italia, they have the Maglia Rosa, which is pink. In the Tour de France, which everyone is most familiar with, they have the Maillot Jaune, which is the yellow jersey. And then in La Vuelta a España, they have the red jersey. I don't know if they say it in Spanish. I don't really know. Anyway, these are all from 2024, and I put the winners of each, which was Tadej Pogačar, Primož Roglič, only because Tadej Pogačar didn't ride in La Vuelta. I think he would have taken all 3. No, that's a lot of racing. But then they also have 3 other jersey winners in each. They have the points jersey winner, or the King of the Mountains, which was Tadej Pogačar, Richard Carapaz, and Jay Vine that year in each of the races. And then they have the points jersey, which is Milian. They call that the Maglia Ciclamino. I don't know if that means points or if it means like burgundy or magenta. Viniam Girmay, who is the first Black African to win a jersey in the Tour de France. And then Caden Groves. And then they have the white jersey. The white jersey is the same color in every race. It's for the best young rider. So the best rider under, I think it's the age of 23 or 22. The person with the best time under that age. I think it's Anthony or Antonio Tiberi, Remco Evenepoel, and Matthias Skelmosa. And I know you can't read that, but but it doesn't matter. So that's it. That's the year. That's the year in jerseys. And of course, I took every state, not of course, but if you've been here before, you know this piece because I obsess about it. It's Le Tour de France time. So today was stage 8. It was a sprint stage. We just watched the end. It was a great sprint. Premium finish. I won't spoil it. Every stage, I turned the motif into the jersey of the guy who won the stage, right? And you can see a couple of them. So this jersey right here, you should learn it and you should love it. This is the jersey for Team UAE, and that's Tadej Pogacar's team. And they won 6 stages in the Giro this year, and they were all Tadej. And Tadej won all 6 of these in the pink jersey, or he won that one before he was in the pink jersey. But then he was wearing the leader's jersey when he won all of these, so I outlined it. And then UAE won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more stages in the Tour de France. Not all Tadej Pogacar. Did Tadej Pogacar win stage 21 of the Tour de France in 2024? That would be wild. Usually... Oh, I think he did. Anyway, and then UAE won 2, 3 stages in La Vuelta a España. So I love this piece. It's so much fun. I can't wait to get it fully finished. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's done. And I still have half of that fabric yet left because this was I think Janine calls this a Portland yard because it's a yard of fabric, but it's a long skinny yard of fabric. So I have a lot of that fabric left. I don't know what I'm going to do with the other side, but that is an excellent finish. I'm so happy. I started this on July 1st, 2024, and I finished it on July 5th, 2026. Start to finish, 735 days, but of course I stitched on it 27 of those 735 days, about 13,889 stitches and about 78 hours on this piece. This was a very slow stitch because if you can imagine, every time I stitched a motif, the first thing I had to do was plan the motif, right? I had to plan the motif. I had to find the colors. These motifs here are Biniam Girmay. He won those stages. Those were sprint stages. This one, he won as well. And I actually found this Krynic braid because the color on their jersey was like a day glow yellow. But I'm so proud of this piece. I'm so happy with it. I am open to suggestions on how the heck to have this finished. It seems like it would lend itself to a belt pull. I can't make a belt pull, but it seems like it would lend itself to a belt pull. I could look for some I could look for some belt pull hardware that has like a bike on it or something. That might be fun. Or I could hang it from a tiny bike handlebar. I think I'll go belt pull. But I'm open to suggestions. If y'all have like a funner suggestion for it, I'm open to it. So that is one finish. And then my next finish is kind of like a finish, but it's finished for me. So it's not even an FFN. It's a finish for me. FFM doesn't need an acronym. This is a full kit. And this is from Forbidden Fiber Co. This is the 12 Days of the Resistance. And I bought this in 2022, I think. And I started it on December 26th, 2022. And just waiting for my Flosstube page to load so I can give you the stats. I just didn't spend that much time stitching on this. When I started this piece, my mental health was like bad. Like I remember crying, and I was just not having a great mental health time. December 26th, 2022, I finished it on July 4th, 2026. 1,287 total days. This was a WIP. I spent 5 days stitching on it. That's not great. I put in about 1,200 stitches, about 3.5 hours. These stitch up super fast. This is on 25 count Sandstorm from Forbidden Fiber Co. And it's with all over-dyed Forbidden Fiber Co. flosses. Like, there's nothing wrong with this pattern, this WIP, this fabric, these flosses. I just wasn't reaching for it. And my loss is your gain because this one, the entire kit, all of the flosses, the bag, everything, the patterns, I stitched 3, there's 9 more patterns. It's all going to be up on my Patreon this week as an auction. So we're going to do some auctions for RTFC, which is Restored Together Foundation for Care. It's a charity that some of my friends here in town who have an orthopedic practice, friends and colleagues, I should say. Some of them are my friends. The surgeons are more my colleagues. The PAs are more my friends. Anyway, they have a charity. This is part of their charity, and they go to the Dominican Republic every January, and they do surgery. And they teach local doctors how to do surgery, and they need to raise money for that. So I periodically will raise some money for that while I am doing all my other things. So this kit for the 12 Days of the Resistance will be up on my Patreon as an auction, and so will another kit from Forbidden Fiber Co., another Star Wars kit that my friend Trina got, and it's also a box. So these were mystery boxes, and they're going to be up for auction. So the last one that I have that might or might not be a finish is, and you can see me like warring with it, right? So this is Cryptid Stitch Along. This is from the Witchy Stitcher, and this came out in, I don't know when this came out, but this came out a good long while ago, probably 2021. This is one of my oldest WIPs. This is how far I am. So I think I have 7 cryptids stitched. There's Jackalope here. And then how many are left? I have Dover Demon left to stitch. I have the Kraken. I have not printed all the pages of this pattern. So there's quite a few more cryptids left to stitch. I love Frogman, and I love Chupacabra. I think Chupacabra is my favorite cryptid, actually, in case anybody's wondering, like, Michelle, what's your favorite cryptid? I feel like I have a friend who often says adults don't get asked what their favorite dinosaur is often enough, and I agree with that. We don't get asked what is your favorite dinosaur often enough, and we don't get asked what is your favorite cryptid often enough. So my favorite cryptid is probably Chupacabra, even though it's terrifying, I think. And my favorite dinosaur is Stegosaurus, because she's just dumb. She's got a tiny little brain, but her plates are gorgeous, and she's just dumb. I like her. She's dumb. Whatever. I started this on August 1st, 2021, which is well before I started tracking. So I really have no idea like how much time or how many real stitches I put in. But since I started tracking, the 16 days I tracked, I put 1,900 stitches into this in about 12 and a half hours. So I could go 2 ways on this. I keep waffling. I have put this in my UFO pile, taken it back out of my UFO pile, put it back in my UFO pile, taken it back out of my UFO pile. Last week I decided maybe I'm going to cut these up and use them, put them in a scrapbook, because I'm just not reaching for it. And I think most of the reason I'm not reaching for this is, number one, it's because it's so old and I haven't been like rejuvenated on it in a long time. But number 2, I am stitching this with DMC Diamant on 40 count. Please learn from my mistakes and don't use DMC Diamant on 40 count. I like DMC Diamant. If you're going for a sparkly floss, I think you could go much more wrong than DMC Diamant. I also love the look of it on 40 count, because if this Mothman, it doesn't really read on camera, but in real life, this Mothman is giving Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, like, pleather situation. This is a sexy, sexy Mothman. So if you want a sexy Mothman, and little Choop Choop, also the same thing. Chupacabra is giving sexy Chupacabra. If you want a sexy cryptid, stitch him with DMC Diamant, because that is like Michelle Pfeiffer, hell here, sexy. But don't do it on 40 count, because that was a mistake. And these are so cute, and I think they would be perfect like on ATCs, artist trading cards, we'll get to that in a little bit, or perfect in a journal. But also, literally every time I took this out of my WIP drawer, I have a filing cabinet of WIPs, don't judge me. I took this out of my WIP drawer to show it to you all here, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, are you sure you don't want to finish that? Because it's cool. This is cool. The fabric is great. This is a piece of 40 count linen from Jody, Steel City Stitchers, when she was first dyeing fabric. It's beautiful. I distinctly remember posting a picture of this and having Meg, the witchy stitcher, comment and be like, that fabric is so perfect. It looks like a sofa that would have been in someone's grandma's attic for 100 years. And I was like, yes. So Meg likes the fabric. Meg ships the fabric. So I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not done with this. I just can't quit. Tell me down below. Help me feel better by telling me, do you have a WIP that you're continually trying to UFO and every time you pull it out, you're just like, I just can't quit you? What movie is that from? Is that from The Notebook? I think I just can't quit this. But also they would make really cute. Like these would be so easy to just, and I say they would be so easy to put into a journal because they literally, like, when this is done, this linen is so beautiful and supple, this will stand up on its own. That's how thick the diamant is on it. So, I don't know. It's, you know what? I'm going to stitch the jackalope. Because jackalope's right here and I do love a jackalope. And I'm just going to see. If I catch the bug, then I'll keep working on it. And if I don't catch the bug, because there's still, like, let's be honest, there's a lot to go on this. Also, what was I thinking filming at 11? I'm hungry. It is lunchtime. So here's the full banana. Wait a second. Hold on. Here it is. There she is in all her glory. So I've done Mothman, Nightcrawler. I've done like here and not Jackalope. So I'm less than halfway. I'm probably like 35% because I still also haven't done this border. So the border has to finish all the way around. I mean, the Kraken is so good. Flatwoods Monster is so good. Witchy actually has on Patreon, a new Flatwoods Monster that I really want to stitch this to. The Ahul is good, but the Ahul reminds me of the Jersey Devil, reminds me of Mothman. So I might switch Ahul out for something. Maybe a drop bear. But anyway, like, I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, don't you want that though? Don't you want that finished? And I'm like, almost halfway. I don't know. Let me know down below. Do you have a WIP? Let me know two things. Whoops. Let me know how to work my computer. Let me know, do you have a WIP that you try to UFO and then you just keep coming back to it? Like, but here's the thing. I try to UFO it. I come back to it. I don't stitch on it. Not really. A little bit I do. So the last time I tried to UFO it, it was this far. And I did finish Frogman and start Jackalope. So the last time I tried to UFO it, I did get some decent progress. And I'll only have to try to UFO this like 7 or 8 more times to get it finished. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I could switch. That's a good call. One of the patrons said, could you switch to a different, like, could I switch to like a petite treasure braid or something? That might be possible. I don't think I could switch to DMC, like a DMC 310 or an Etoile. I think that would change the look too much. But I might be able to switch to a treasure braid. I don't know. Let me see. I do have a current obsession, though. And my current obsession is not really going to let me switch off of this for now. We'll see. Let me show you my current obsession. Because my current obsession is I kitted up a project. And then I have a new start. So first, let me show you the project I kitted up, and then I'll get to my new start. So this is in a bag. This bag was made by Jen at Jasmine's Custom Bags. And I sent her this piece that I stitched. This is Stitching Book Club, The Secret Garden. I stitched it way back in 23 when I was still dating things. And she turned it into this beautiful project bag. So this is, because I've never stitched a Jed X Stitch pattern, and because I really love this series, Jessica, she has winter seeds, autumn seeds, summer seeds, and spring seeds. And I decided to start with winter seeds because I realized it's July now. And my friend Diana, it is Kismet, it's time for Christmas in July. In July, you stitch on a winter or Christmas themed thing, and you call it Kismas in July, Kismas in July. Because Diana's birthday is in December, right between Christmas and New Year's, and it's really hard to orchestrate a sal. Everybody's got stuff. So we just give her the month of July. Month of July is half over, but I'm going to start this. So I'm going to start Winter Seeds as my Christmas in July piece. This is, I'm going to put it on this piece of 36 count Zweigart linen. It's called Ghostly Shadow. This is from XJU Design. And this piece is just big enough that I can do all 4 of the little, what are they, crocs or grocs or croaks? I can get all 4 of these little guys, boom, 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 boom. They'll just fit like barely with, if I give them like 2 stitches in between, they'll fit with like an inch border on either side, maybe a little less than an inch actually. I mathed it, trust me, bro. And then I'm going to make a drum. So the drum will be like, it won't be this tall, but it'll be like this big around. It's going to be a good drum. And it's charted in DMC, and Jessica does give us a couple of alternatives, but I pulled some Stitchy Box Silks because there's a bright, it's mostly greens and dark greens and browns, and then there's some white, and then there's a bright red, there's a bright turquoise. So I pulled some Stitchy Box Silks, and I think those will carry. I think these colors will somewhat carry through the 4 designs. I've only purchased the 1. So that remains to be seen. But I'm really excited to start that. So I kitted it up. It's not started yet, but I'm ready. And this is on my Monopoly board. So like, I'm ready. And I'll get it going. But the one that I absolutely, I also have to show you. I made a little progress. This is a WIP. I just dove right into my starts because I was so excited. I made a little progress on my tail end project as I was finishing my Tour de France project. So you might not be able to pick it out right away, but I can tell like from the orange and this light red all the way up, that's the Tour de France project, because those are just like, those colors all together there, it just looks like a peloton to me. It looks like a group of guys, skinny guys riding bikes right there. So this pattern is called Icon, the Protector. It's from Ink Circles, and it is from their Patreon. And you can see like this little darker section over here. I've been coloring it in with pen because I don't have enough highlighters. That's how far I've gotten. And this is done on a 32 count Be Stitch Me. This is the same stuff that I did my Poison These Plants Can Kill sal on. And it's actually going to be a lot smaller than I thought. So the nice thing about doing this on this 32 is it's a bit of a tighter 32. So the first few the first 2 projects that I finished and put strands in, I was doing 2 strands. And then the Tour de France, I was doing 1 strand. And this fabric really works for both. So if you're a 1-strand stitcher and you're like, why do I have to stitch on the higher counts? You can stitch on a 32 count Be Stitch Me and be totally fine. And if you're a 2-strand stitcher, you can also stitch on the 32 count Be Stitch Me and be totally fine. Okay, now let me get into my actual start. My actual start is, and I know I talked about this last time, I was so excited and I lost the page. So let me just fake type for a minute while I pull this page up, because after this I don't have anything. And I bought the little Crocs. Not Crocs like the shoes, but Korok. It's from The Legend of Zelda video games. Thank you, Nati, because I would not have known that. I bought the Koroks from Winter Seeds from Jessica at Jed X Stitch. That's the only purchase I made. I did start this, and I was so excited to start this. So this is called Life is Sweet. This is the July 2026 Patreon design from Tiny Modernist. I think, what did she sneak peek us with? I think she sneak peeked us with like this part right here with a little bit of the toucan and maybe some of the watermelon. I love lemons. I love summertime. I love these strawberries. I love a Quaker. So, you know, I couldn't start this fast enough. So I kitted it up. This is all the DMCs. Well, this isn't all of them. There's 4 in the back here. There's 16 colors in this. But this is a Bendy flip from Karina at Bags Plus. I'll link her Etsy shop down below. I used to do a lot of sales for these, like online sales. And I stopped because my life got way too busy. But Karina and I have been talking about maybe bringing back some of the online sales. So I don't know when. Don't ask me when. But isn't that color gradient beautiful? And then 311, 312, 313 is in this. And it's also in Winter Seeds. So it was funny for me that I was kitting both of them up side by side and using those colors twice. This is a piece of 20 count Aida that Diana, It Is Kismet, dyed for me. And hear me out, because I know when I showed you the Quaker, the white was much more vibrant. But I can see this white and I'm fine with it. Depending on the light, I can see it better or I can see it worse. I can see it better IRL than I can on camera. I'm not making excuses. I'm in love with it. I really wanted to finish this bird last night. Wade and I watched 2 episodes of Love Island and there's a lot of stitches in these things. But I can't quit this. I love this piece so much. And it's on Aida. And I probably could have gone 2 strands, but I'm really liking stitching with 1 strand. So this will be my travel project. I'll take this with me up to the basketball tournaments for the next couple weeks. But yeah, I just love it. I just love it. This piece is bringing me the joy that I wanted it to bring me. And I am 100% here for it. I can't wait. And this is really like, so do you want to see my high-tech measuring? So Cheryl gives us the design, the count for the design. And then she gives us like fabric and design size, right? So if you're going to stitch this on 18 count fabric, it's going to be 8 by 10. I'm going to stitch it on 20. I'm stitching it on 20 count fabric, so it's going to be a little smaller than 8 by 10. So if you take a piece of paper that's 8.5 by 11 and you put it on here, then you know that if this were 18 count fabric, my piece would fit on this Nerge no problem. Because on 18 count fabric, the design would be 8 by 10, and this paper is 8.5 by 11, so it would be smaller than this paper. So the fabric is 20 count, and if it would fit on this paper or less on 18 count, then it's going to fit on this paper or less on 20 count, and that is how you avoid math. I also mathed it, trust me. I mathed how big this design would be on 20, but then I didn't measure the paper. I just held it up. Or I didn't measure the fabric. I just held it up to the paper and I was like, I'm good. So that's how you escape math, kind of. But I'm so excited about this. As soon as I'm done filming, I'm going to go start stitching on this again. Because Rose has really, really busy weeks. And because her weeks are so busy, she likes her weekends to be chill. And I am all about that. We'll probably go oot in a boot somewhere, but I don't know where. So that's all my stitches. I kind of went over my plans. My plans are to stitch on that thing some more and to decide about the witchy stitcher thing. So that's it for my plans. Right before this, before I started filming this, I was making an ATC with my patrons. Some of them are here, not in person, but like on the live stream. And I'm hosting an ATC swap. So my friend Heather, Link is my homeboy, she used to host a ton of swaps on Instagram. And it's kind of exhausting to host a swap, to be totally honest, because you want it to go well. First of all, you come up with the idea, you put up the post, you make up the rules, you make up the timeline, you pair everybody up, you send out the information emails, and then you want it to go well, right? So when people don't follow through, which doesn't happen a lot, but it happens, when people don't follow through, you feel responsible. And even if you don't feel responsible, the people who don't get the packages feel like you should feel responsible. So Heather stepped away and she's going to take a break. And I thought, I would really like to make some ATCs. Now that the opportunity is gone, my ADHD brain was like, let me try to make some ATCs. So I set up a server on my Discord, and it's called, there's a section called swaps, and I set up a section called ATC swaps. I put the first sign up here, and the idea behind this section, I'll link it below if you want to join. The idea behind this section is anybody can host. You just throw your information in here on your swap, and whoever wants to sign up can sign up, and you're the host, and you're in charge of it. You're in charge of the rules, you're in charge of the theme, you're in charge. So I put up a poll to see, like, do you want it to be a Stitchy ATC? Do you want it sent to a bunch of people? Do you want it sent to one person? And what the team came up with is we want it to be an anything and everything ATC. So make it Stitchy, make it not Stitchy, do whatever you want. And we just want to send to one person. So I said, cool. So I set up a little questionnaire that's like, what do you like? What do you not like? What are you into? What do you collect? Give me some guidance, basically, right? And this is the ATC that I made this morning for my partner. So ATC is Artist Trading Card. It is the size of a playing card. And you just make art on it. You make little art. And the idea is that one side is like the primary side, and that should have most of the decoration. And then the other side, you're going to want to write like to so-and-so, from so-and-so, the date. And I like to write the theme of the swap. But I decorated the backside too. Because I have a deck of tarot cards that I bought that's actually plagiarized art from another deck of tarot cards that I have. The short version is I really felt drawn to this deck and I liked the art. And then once I bought it and did a little research, I realized I liked the art because it was stolen from the art of a deck I already had. So now I cut that deck up and I use it as a basis for my ATCs, right? Because I don't want to throw it away. I don't want to just landfill it, but I also don't want to draw from it. So, and I don't want to talk about the artist because I don't want to give them any like limelight. So I just use that as my base for my ATCs. And then, yeah, that's it. That's the ATC. And so tomorrow on my Twitch stream, I'm going to make a few more. And because this was really fun. It was really fun. And the reason I like making ATCs for individual people after they filled out a thing is hopefully my partner looks at us as like, yeah, that's my jam, right? Rather than just, it's also fun to just make whatever you want. But like, this was super fun. It's really therapeutic. I just ripped and tore paper and cut it up and glued it to things, and you have a little piece of art. And there it is. So that's what I did this morning, and that's what I'll do more of tomorrow after stage 9 of the Tour de France. So I think stage 8 ended in the 8 o'clock hour, so I could probably do my Twitch stream around 9 tomorrow if anybody wants to or is available. And if you don't like my drawing tarot cards, then you should go because I'm going to draw a tarot card. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So this is my trading deck. And what it is the base of this is the Prisma Visions Tarot from James R. Eads. But I put a bunch of stickers on the box because I have actually 2 of these decks. So this deck was the first deck that I got as an adult that brought me back into tarot, and it was a few years ago now. This was a gift from my friend Holly, Stitchy Pros at Market, and I love this deck. I love the art. And then like a year or so later, I was at a tattoo convention, I think where I got Leia, and I was buying a tarot deck that I've since passed on. I was buying a tarot deck, and the idea, a card jumped out, so that's my card for the day. But the deck was the Tattoo Tarot, and the idea behind the deck was that 78 different artists had drawn the cards. And the lady that was selling it, she was like, yeah, the idea is like, or she said she's always had this idea, like you carry a tarot deck with you at all times, and like you run into somebody that you know or that you don't know, and you find out that you're both tarot people and you trade a card. So this deck is not the James R. Eads Prisma Visions Tarot anymore. It's my trading deck. The James R. Eads is the base, but you can see I have a bunch of different cards in here. And I've written on the back of all of the cards with who I traded it with and when. And then the other cool thing that I did just to be extra because I'm extra, is whenever I trade a card with someone, I ask them to send me a snippet from the little white book. Is it called the little white book? So this is June 15th, 2023. And whenever I do that, I have made myself a little book with all of the cards in it. So this card jumped out of the deck at me today. It's this card. And now I know what the book says. So this is The World. And this is from Marissa Stitchy Noir. She sent me this, and I sent her Death from the Prisma Visions Tarot, which is a great card because that's one of my favorite cards out of any deck is Death. And this is from the Steampunk Tarot. And what the book says about it is, the flavor of the world is successful completion. It is not merely a situation playing itself out as described by the tens, or the natural or unexpected experience of death or the tower. It's a finishing of something that you started, that you wanted, that you worked towards. Why isn't it focusing on this? I want it to focus on the card. The woman on this card, often referred to as the world dancer, is the essence of ease and comfort, surrounded as she is by symbols of the elements, air, water, fire, and earth, as well as the large gear, or world, representing everything that is. She moves gracefully in this environment, confident that she has mastered everything she needed and wanted to. As with all endings, there's also a bittersweet flavor, because one cannot rest too long on one's laurels. With this wonderful achievement, she's now ready to move on to the next cycle, and so are you. So the world is all about like cycles ending, cycles beginning. You might be anywhere in that process. Like the card doesn't necessarily mean you're at the end of a thing. It means like it's a reminder that wherever you are, you're part of this cyclical, ongoing, forever process, right? And sometimes these cards are much more chaotic than this. This is a pretty like kind of tame version of the world to me, but it still captures the essence of like this person is riding the waves of whatever is going on in her cycle. So that's the card for the day, The World, and it's from the Steampunk Tarot. Yeah. And I might actually, so on my Discord, I have a whole big swap channel. We have the Ink Circles Round Robin in there. We have the Kitted Up Swap. I might actually I'm going to put a link down below. If you want to trade a tarot card, let me know, because it's been a while since I've traded any cards with anyone, and I like to trade them in person. So like I'll bring this with me when I go to a retreat. But I also trade via mail. And the way that we do that is like we'll arrange a trade, you and I, and then I'll shuffle my deck while I'm kind of thinking about you and like, hey, what card does this person want or need? And then whatever card comes up, not one that I've already traded, but whatever card comes up from the Prisma Visions, that's your card. And then we just mail them to each other with a little information from the book. And Bob's your uncle. We have tarot cards from each other's deck. So if you're interested, I'm going to put a link down below for trading, because I haven't traded in a while. And this deck was really calling to me the other day, just like, I feel more connected to my friends and my peoples when I'm drawing from this deck, because I have at least one card, if not two cards, from a lot of my friends in this deck. So let me know if you want to trade a tarot card. If we've never done it before, I love that. If we've traded before, I love that too. Let's do it. And this is also not a 78 card deck anymore. I don't really know how many cards are in this deck. I think there's more than 78, but that's also kind of the beauty of the chaos of it all, is like, how many of each card do I have? I don't really know. A few. Okay, so that's it. That's the whole video. It was probably like less than 30 minutes. I might actually knock out another ATC while I'm on here with my patrons, or I might stitch a bit. So we shall see. But thank you all so much for hanging out. If you are a person who likes to watch streams on Twitch, I'll be streaming tomorrow. I think this also might be, I'm a little bit out of touch with the cross stitch community, but is this weekend 24 hours of cross stitch, or is that next weekend? 24 hours of cross stitch is coming up. And whether you're Team Sleep or Team Stitch, there is a Twitch stream. Oh, yesterday was arm day and my arms are sore when I adjust myself in the chair. There's a Twitch like raid, 24 hours of cross stitch raid parade coming up. So a raid is when you're on Twitch and like say I'm done streaming, but I noticed that someone else that I watch is streaming. So we all pop over to that person's channel. We raid them. We all go. Twitch takes us there automatically. We don't have to do it ourselves. And then so a bunch of cross stitchers have set it up where they just like will continually for 24 hours raid. So not any one streamer has to stream for 24 hours, but they just like you can stay with the group for 24 hours if you want to. So I think that's super fun and I might look into it, but I am 100% team sleep. So I will not be stitching for 24 hours of cross stitch, but let me know, like, am I totally out of the loop? Is that this week? I don't know. If it's this week, then by the time you let me know, I've probably missed 2/3 of it. Oh, it is. It's next weekend. 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. Okay, false alarm. 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. Thank you, Quirks and Stitches, for letting us know. Is July 19th through 21st. The goal is to stitch. Maybe you'll get 24. Maybe you won't. Just take some time and relax and thread your needle and stitch. So next weekend, 24 hours of cross stitch. Or was this was 103 weeks ago. Just kidding. I don't know when 24 hours of cross stitch is. Oh, I saw this. It's the weekend of the 20. Thank you. Thank you for bearing with me while I found it. This is what I was talking about. 24 hours of cross stitch raid train. So July 25th and 26th, which is not next weekend, but the weekend after, is a 24 hours of cross stitch raid train. So starting with, and this is so nice because they give you who's streaming, what time, in what time zone. So 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11, 12. They have streams going every hour on the hour until the end of the 24 hours of cross stitch. So that's super fun and cool. And I think they're getting more than 24 hours, right? Because July 25th at 9 a.m. all the way through July 26th at 1 p.m. So they're padding it for us. So 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 hours of cross stitch are available. So I'll link this post. Creative Element posted it. So I'll link this post in case you're looking for someone to stream with in 2 weeks. And that's it. That's all I've got. So, I'm terrible at ending these videos. So let me know a couple things down below. Let me know, do you want to swap a tarot card with me? Because I want to swap one with you. Let me know, do you have a WIP that you keep trying to UFO and you just can't quit? And let me know, should I just buckle up and finish cryptids? It's one of my oldest WIPs, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, just finish it, Michelle, right? I don't know. Let me know what you think. It would help me. And then let me know if you want to do a cryptid ATC swap. I'll drop a link to the Discord ATC swap server down below. And if you have an idea for an ATC swap to host, feel free to throw up a Google form and I will sign up. So I will see you all, not next week. I'll be at basketball. Not the week after. I'll be at basketball. But the following week, which is, I believe, the first weekend in August 1st. I'll see you August 1st, hopefully, for another one of these. And I should have a lot of stitching done by then, I hope. And maybe some ATCs to show you. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm done. I've said goodbye for long enough. I will talk to you soon.